Sarah here, aka the Business Fixer. So I'm hoping you can see me okay. So today we are talking about the psychology of getting paid. So I first of all want to share an initial story with you guys, and it's all about, and I'm going to just change the view slightly. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to try this. Let's see, that's better. I can see you guys. Right. Okay. So it was actually a couple of days ago now where I finally took a bit of time for myself. I knew that I felt like I was out of alignment, both emotionally and mentally. I had faced some tough challenges recently, and one thing I will never do on any of my content, or generally all of my clients that know me, so I'll never pretend that my life is one perfect dream like some business coaches do. You know, the ones where they're always showing off their fancy Rolexes, the fancy cars, the fancy houses, but they don't actually show you the truth of what actually it takes to get those fancy things. They always say it kind of, you know what I mean? It kind of shows it's just easy to be able to achieve these things, and it's not. The truth is, I had been pushing forward without pausing to check in on myself, and I knew that I needed some time to work on me, to clear some of my own limiting beliefs. And I know some of you will think this is just woo-woo stuff, and I'm telling you, it is not. Mindset is 100% a key fundamental to success in life and in business, right? So what I did is I spent some time meditating, clearing the noise, and then did some journaling. So I love to do, and you've heard me probably talk about this before, doing your affirmations, doing your gratitude. And those of you who are aware of my story will know that journaling was a big part of me getting through my breakdown all those years ago. But here's the shocker. I realised I hadn't actually been doing any journaling since October last year. And no wonder I had been feeling off. Now, doesn't mean I hadn't been doing any work on myself. I had been, but the journaling was a big part that goes alongside all of that, and I hadn't been doing it. And actually, it was really enlightening and empowering to go back to it. So what struck me, right, was that I'd been avoiding doing something, and I honestly don't know why. And avoidance creeps in quietly, and it often comes in your business, right? You will tell yourself on a particular task, you'll get back to it later. Or you find some kind of excuse or excuses until you realise you've drifted so far away from something that actually helps you either be grounded or to just help you move the business forward. And that's when it clicked for me. And that's where I suddenly thought credit control is one of those aspects in business where us business owners have a habit of avoiding. Could be for many reasons, could be embarrassment, it could be hating the confrontation, feeling awkward, or thinking, they've always paid before, so they'll pay now. But avoidance never makes the problem go away. It just leaves the cracks widening under the surface. So why do we avoid credit control? Credit control is rarely anyone's favourite task, and there's a psychology behind it, and it's surprisingly simple. Business owners do not chase invoices because they do not want the conflict. Like I said, some feel embarrassed asking for money, even though that the work has been done. Others want to keep that client relationship happy and think being firm about getting paid will ruin the relationship. And then there are those that assume the money will just turn up eventually. But let's be honest here. late payments rarely sort themselves out. It's like waiting for that mate that who swore he would buy the next round, but somehow always seems to disappear to the loo the exact time the drinks are due. Now, you laugh it off for the first time, maybe even the second, but by the third, you realise you're carrying the cost of their behaviour, and ignoring overdue invoices exactly the same. It doesn't protect relationships. It just avoids a short-term discomfort at the expense, and this is key here, of your long-term performance. So, now this would be important. Doing your credit control is important at any time in business, but right now it's fundamentally critical. Why? Because across the UK, even clients who used to pay like clockwork are stretching their terms. Some are holding onto the cash as long as humanly possible because they are under pressure themselves. And sadly, we're seeing many businesses just disappearing altogether. Liquidation is becoming more and more common, and it's taking perfectly good businesses down with it. And I've spoken to business owners who have lost tens of thousands because a client has folded, leaving unpaid invoices behind. And I don't want you to be one of those businesses. This is not just about numbers. It is about the hours of your time, the work that your team has delivered, and the revenue you've effectively been relying on to pay your staff and your suppliers. When that money does not come in, it's not a line item on your spreadsheet. It's a sleepless night. It's difficult conversations, and it is unnecessary pressure, right? So what's the cost of avoiding dealing with this? Well, you may think that letting invoices slide is harmless enough. You'll tell yourself you'll send a reminder next week. You don't want to upset that client. You're too busy. But I tell you what, the cost of avoidance piles up first, because ultimately unpaid invoices lock up your cash, leaving you stretched when your own bills are due. Your confidence will take a hit because you do not know what really is in the bank and is available. And mentally, that stress hangs over you. You're waiting, hoping, checking your account like someone refreshing their inbox for a message that never comes. How many of you have been there where you've just sat there literally constantly checking your inbox? Even I've done it, right? On paper, the business might even look profitable. But if the money is not actually hitting your bank account, profit in that situation means nothing. You cannot pay your team with invoices. You cannot reinvest into your business with promises. And you cannot take a salary home with money pending. It's looking at a perfectly decorated house that is built on sand. From the outside, it might look strong, but the second the ground shifts, the whole thing collapses. And I don't want you to be one of those businesses. So let's reframe credit control. Let's call it what it is. It's not chasing. It's not begging. It's not being pushy. It's actually setting boundaries. It's respecting the value of the work that you have already delivered, or you're about to if you're taking payment on account. Getting paid is part of the service. It is not an afterthought. It's often the final step in the client journey, or along the way, depending on your payment structure. Just as you would not hand over a project half finished, you should not leave payment hanging in the air. Now think about it, right? People do not walk into Tesco's or Waitrose, fill their trolley, and then say to the cashier, you know what, I'm going to pay you later. It would never be accepted. So why should your business be any different? Credit control does not have to be complicated, but it does have to be clear and it does have to be consistent. High-performing businesses protect themselves by making it a part of their normal process. So, for example, start by taking money up front where possible, whether that's the full amount, 50%, or a deposit. It reduces your risk and sets expectations clearly from day one. Keep your payment terms tight. So it could mean that they have to pay on the date of the invoice. It could be 7 days, it could be 14 days. Do not go any longer. I do not want 30-day or 60-day payment terms wherever possible. The more time that you allow, the more chance there is for excuses and delays. And if you're working on a long-term project, build in stage payments. So, for example, in the legal world, you could be dealing with some litigation or a family matter, and in those circumstances, bill monthly. Make it clear in your terms that if any invoice remains unpaid, that you have the right to cease working until payment is received. That way, clients know from the get-go that payment is a condition of delivery. Send those invoices promptly. A late invoice sends the message that payment is not a priority, so do not leave it until the following week. Now, another thing, if you're using the proper accounting software that I always talk to you about, you can set up automated chasers. Maybe even send a reminder polite the day before it's due, just to give them a heads up. A few days later, and again, these aren't going to be hard pay me now type. They're just gentle nudges. Then potentially again at 7 days, 14 days, and so on. And as time passes, those messages are then going to get a little bit firmer and a little bit firmer. But what automation does is it takes the emotion out of it and makes the process steady and reliable. But, and there's a big but here, don't be afraid to pick up the phone. Communication is key. So, talk to them. Just a simple phone call can resolve things, even if it is a polite, I just want to double check you received my invoice, or I just wanted to check if everything is okay, because kindness, patience and understanding can go a long way. And sometimes it just has slipped through the net, or it's sitting in someone's system waiting to be processed. So that communication is fundamental. And remember, sometimes things happen in business. No one is at fault. The important part is that communication at every stage. Think of it in terms of the way that you manage your client delivery. I would like to think that you are consistent, steady and clear with your delivery updates. You should be the same with your credit control. It's another part of that client relationship. It's one contract and one relationship, and it's consistent throughout. Now, handled poorly, credit control can damage relationships. But it doesn't have to if you manage it the right way. Ultimately, clients respect businesses that are organised and professional. Boundaries are not barriers, they are signs of confidence and credibility. So if you deal with it, like I said, with patience, understanding, communication, then you're not going to have any issues, right? Because ultimately, credit control is one of the key systems in a business that creates the space for you to do what only you can do as a business owner. Lead with confidence, focus on growth, and build that high-performing business that finally gives you the life that you have always dreamed of, right? So, just a few final thoughts. Taking that time the other day to in terms of going back and recalibrating with myself, it was powerful because it helped me realign and strengthen the foundations. For me, it was affirmations and gratitude that I had been neglecting. For many of you, it could be credit control. Avoiding it does not protect you. It undermines you. Facing it gives you strength, confidence, and stability, right? Now, one of the key things that I'm often talking about is there are key foundational pieces of a business, and finances is a key part of that falls within the Business Fixer toolkit. And if those foundations are not steady, you will find that you are building on sand and at any moment they can collapse, which is why I have created the Business Performance Health Check quiz. And it'll only take a couple of minutes of your time. It is completely free, and it gives you an opportunity to do exactly what it says on the tin. Check your business performance health. Okay, so if you are interested, all I just need you to do is comment the word score and I will send you the link. Now, as always, if you want any help in relation to your business, if you're wanting to create that profitable, scalable, high-performing business and you want to have a conversation with me, then please do reach out, even just simply sending me a DM and we can set that up. Well, thank you guys for listening. I really do appreciate it. Hope you've got plenty of value from today, and I shall see you again next week. Thanks, guys.